All right, guys, welcome back to J-Fabe Wrestling, 34th edition. That means we're looking at WrestleMania 34 as I'm on the journey to rebooking every WrestleMania. WrestleMania 34 took place on April 8th, 2018 in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, brother. And attendance was roughly 78,000. Let's get into the card right now. So on the pre-show, we had the 30-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal won by Matt Hardy. We had the finals of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. Cedric Alexander defeating Mustafa Ali to become the new Cruiserweight Champion. And then we had the 20 women WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal with Naomi winning, last eliminating Bayley. And the opener on the main card, we got Seth Rollins defeating The Miz and Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. Charlotte defeating Asuka to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship and also ending Asuka's streak. Jinder Mahal defeating Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Rusev to win the United States Championship. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey defeating Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in a mixed tag team match. The Bludgeon Brothers defeating the Usos and the New Day to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Undertaker defeating John Cena. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon defeating Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss to become the new Raw Women's Champion. AJ Styles defeating Shinsuke Nakamura to retain his WWE Championship. Braun Strowman and Nicholas defeat Cesaro and Sheamus to win the Raw Tag Team Championship. And in the main event, Brock Lesnar defeating Roman Reigns to retain his Universal Championship. So yeah, this is a pretty rough card here. Some highlights though was the mixed tag match with Triple H and Steph versus Ronda and Kurt. That was a really good match. The IC title triple threat was really good. Charlotte versus Asuka was really good. But yeah, the second half of the show was a little bit disappointing. Taker versus John Cena was a major disappointment just to have Taker squash John Cena. Yeah, AJ versus Shinsuke. You know, it was okay, but I think the expectations, it didn't really meet that. Nicholas and Braun, you know, that's, again, what are we doing here? And then Brock versus Roman. This was not a great main event at all. The fans were booing it. So, yeah. I think, you know, we can definitely have a better main event. And, yeah, just switch a couple of things around here. You know, there's still a lot of dream matches that I feel that could have happened. So, yeah. Let's get into my card right now. All right, my first match is on the pre-show Cruiserweight Championship match. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali versus Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong. So I felt like Hideo and Roderick Strong deserve to be on the card here. You know, they're kind of like legends on the indie scenes, and it would be cool to have them on Mania. So, and yeah, I think it would be a fun match, and the result here would be the same. Cedric Alexander would win and become the new Cruiserweight Champion. All right, next up we got the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. And yeah, they had kind of a thin roster of women at this time, but you still have Sasha Banks and Bayley in this match, and that's how I have the final two. So it'd be final three with Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks and Bayley would eliminate Nia Jax. And then yeah, I would just have Sasha and Bayley kind of go at it for, 5 to 10 minutes, just one-on-one. And I would have Bayley eliminate Sasha Banks here, and this could, slowly build towards a Sasha Bayley feud down the line. And yeah, it makes sense because I had Sasha win last year, so now I'm giving Bayley the win here, and I think it still keeps the credibility of the women's battle royal. So yeah, great moment for Bayley and builds a future feud with Sasha Banks. All right, next up is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I like the women's battle royal. Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of stars in the match, but I'll give the win here to, I think, Ty Dillinger. I feel like WWE really dropped the ball on him, so giving him a win here, last eliminating Dolph Ziggler. I think it'll be a good moment for him, and maybe, can kind of restart another push for him because he was really over. And I felt that WWE did misuse him at this time, so I think a nice win here would be good for him. All right, now we're on the main card here. We got the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. We got the Usos defending against the New Day, as well as Rusev and Aiden English and the Bludgeon Brothers. So, yeah, the classic four-way tag at WrestleMania. Of course, the Usos and New Day, they have a lot of respect for each other despite their feud here. And Rusev and Aiden English were definitely getting over. And the Bludgeon Brothers, formerly known as the Wyatt family, repackage here. So they have some momentum as well. How I would have booked this is have the New Day versus Rusev and Aiden English in a number one contenders match. That's when I have the Bludgeon Brothers just attack them and attack the Usos on commentary. And the next week, the Usos come out and say, you know what? We know we're the best tag team on SmackDown. And forget this number one contenders. I challenge all three of y'all. I challenge the New Day, Rusev and Aiden, and the Bludgeon Brothers. So, yeah. And then, yeah, you can have some nice mix of tag matches here. And you could also have fun segments where Aiden English and Rusev, although they're heels, they could have some comedic stuff with the Bludgeon Brothers where they kind of team up and they're trying to celebrate, and the Bludgeon Brothers could attack them. And I think this would be a good match here. And I'll give the Usos the win. They could pin Aiden English after some miscommunication between Rusev and Aiden English. So that's slowly building their breakup and keeps the Bludgeon Brothers and the New Day strong as well. And yeah, we could have the Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos feud right after Mania. All right, next up we got the Raw Tag Team Championship. I have the champions, the Revival, defend against the Deleter of Worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. The Bar, Finn Balor and Jeff Hardy. So yeah, there's some intrigue here. Of course, the Revival and the Bar, they want pure wrestling, And then we got Finn Balor and Jeff Hardy, the charismatic duo here, the Demon and the charismatic Enigma. They both use face paint. And then we got the Wacky, the Leader of Worlds here. So the Revival could just talk about how, that they're sick of, the tag team division being all gimmicked up. And the Bar can agree and say, you know what, we agree and we challenge you at WrestleMania. And that's when the Leader of Worlds can come out here and they say they want a shot at WrestleMania, and you could have the Bar and the Revival just double team attack both of them. And yeah, and then you could have Finn Balor come out here because in the storyline, I could have the Revival take out the club here. So, yeah. And then the next week, Finn Balor could get attacked by the Revival. And then Jeff Hardy can make the save here. And, yeah, they form a team. And then there's some bit of tension between Finn and Jeff and Matt and Bray. You could have, a great segment there where, Matt can be like, Brother Nero, I knew you come. And Jeff can say, yeah, I came, but I'm here to win the Raw Tag Team titles with Finn Balor. So, yeah, there could be some fun intrigue there. I would give the Leaders of Worlds the win here. Jeff Hardy could actually hit the swanton on the Bar, but Matt could actually tag himself in and he could get the pin here. And yeah, him and Bray can just celebrate doing the delete chants. And yeah, I think it'd be a fun moment and a great moment for Bray and Matt Hardy. All right, next up we got the United States Championship match. I got champion Bobby Roode defending against Randy Orton. So yeah, WWE debuted Bobby Roode as a face. Coming from NXT, I would actually have him as a heel here. And I would have him win the U.S. belt off Shinsuke Nakamura somewhere in December. It could play off, their feud in NXT as well. And yeah, Bobby Roode could just be gloating how he's glorious. And, there's no one in WWE that's better. Randy could come out and say, he was like Bobby once. He was an arrogant young kid, and that he respects Bobby, but, this is Randy Orton here, and he makes the challenge for the U.S. title. Bobby could decline it, and he could try to attack Randy, and Randy can try to go for RKO. Bobby gets out the way here. So, And yeah, you can build it up where Randy keeps asking for a shot. Randy could throw shots at Bobby Roode, kind of like he threw shots at AJ the year later, talking about how, he was getting tans with Dixie Carter, in Florida while he was winning world titles. And yeah, Bobby Roode could finally snap and say, you know what, I accept. And he can say, the reason he didn't accept is because he respected Randy, but now he's going to end his career. Bobby Roode's going to become the new legend killer. So yeah, you can kind of play it off that. And yeah, during the build, Randy could try and sneak up with the RKO, but Bobby keeps getting away. And Randy says, at WrestleMania, there's nowhere for you to run. And I'm going to beat you with the RKO to win the belt that I never won before. So yeah, I think this would be a good match. They did have this match, I believe, at Fastlane, but they were both faces here and there was no heat. I think this match would be much better. And I would actually give Randy the surprise win here, just because he never won the U.S. belt, and it'll be a great moment. All right, next up we got the Intercontinental Championship match. We got The Miz defending against Seth Rollins, so Seth Rollins could win like a number one contenders tournament. And Miz could talk about Seth and say, Seth, he's a great wrestler, but he doesn't cut it here. He ain't a star like The Miz. And Seth could talk about how, he always grew up respecting the Intercontinental Championship. And it's a damn shame that it's on The Miz's belt. And when he wins it at WrestleMania, he's going to make the IC title just as prestigious as it once was there. And during the build-up, you could have Seth, defeat the Miz Taraj and a couple of singles matches here to get them barred from ringside. And you can even have at Elimination Chamber, Seth eliminating The Miz and The Miz coming back later on to the match to cause Seth Rollins the Elimination Chamber match. And obviously they had the triple threat match. And it was still a good match, and I still think, Seth versus Miz will still be a great match, just because, their Backlash match was probably better, and I think they could definitely replicate it at WrestleMania, this time with the build, and this time on the biggest stage of them all. I think it'd be a great match, and yeah, you got to give Seth Rollins the win here. He was super over, especially in that gauntlet match, when he pinned John Cena and Roman Reigns. I think that was a great moment here, and yeah, the IC belt and him having a nice reign definitely, helped him towards, headlining WrestleMania the next year. So yeah, I think it'd be a great match and a great moment for Seth Rollins. All right, next up we got the Smackdown Women's Championship match here. Charlotte defending against Becky Lynch. So I would have Charlotte win the belt from Natalya somewhere in December there. So... And yeah, Becky could just straight up win a number one contenders match on Fastlane. And yeah, these two obviously were once friends, and Charlotte's the face again, so they're, they're both friends here. It's kind of a respectful match, but, Charlotte kind of disregards Becky, not taking her serious. Say, she respects Becky, but, I'm Charlotte Flair. And Becky could talk about how, she's been overlooked her whole career, and that, she put the SmackDown Women's Championship on the map, and that, once Charlotte Flair came to SmackDown, everyone was talking about Charlotte, and now Charlotte has a belt, and everyone's saying, Charlotte has no competition, and that she wants to prove to Charlotte and to the rest of the world that she's just as good as Charlotte, in fact, that she's better. So yeah, they could have some tension here. They could have a couple of tag matches where, they argue and have miscommunication. Yeah. And I think I would actually give Charlotte the win here. And this will slowly build towards, Becky snapping on Charlotte and the whole demand thing. So, and yeah, I think it's strange how these two never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Obviously their relationship as friends, and they have great chemistry, as we've seen later on in the year. So yeah, I think this would be a good match here, and kind of a starter to build the Charlotte Becky feud, and building the character change for Becky Lynch. All right, next time is the Raw Women's Championship match here. I have Alexa Bliss defending against Asuka. So yeah, Asuka would it seems that she would challenge Charlotte, but Alexa Bliss starts talking smack to Asuka, saying she's scared of me, and that she's not ready for Alexa. And yeah, Asuka could finally snap and say, I choose Alexa Bliss. And yeah, Alexa Bliss could have some backup here with Mickie James and Nia Jax. But, Asuka would, take them out, beat them on Raw. And, yeah, it just sets a nice feud here with, an arrogant Alexa Bliss who's no match for Asuka. And she's, like, running away, and we're just waiting for that moment where Asuka can get her hands on Alexa Bliss. And, I think I'll give Asuka the win here. Her having her streak and against Charlotte, I thought wasn't good. The momentum here. She just won the Royal Rumble, and to have her lose to me didn't make sense. So yeah, if you still want to keep Charlotte strong, we could still have this match, at future WrestleManias. But this is a great moment for Asuka to get the Raw Women's Championship here, and she could kind of like squash Alexa Bliss, take out Mickie James, take out Nia Jax, and win with the Asuka lock here. All right, next up we got Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah, I'm going to keep this match the same. I know people are thinking there's definitely much better matches for Daniel Bryan to have. Daniel Bryan for The Miz is also one. But, The Miz was on Raw, and I do want to keep respect the brand split here. And, yeah, Daniel Bryan kind of returned just a couple weeks before Mania, so it's pretty hard to shoe in him. He couldn't be in the Royal Rumble because he wasn't cleared yet. So I think this is the match to go, also considering the build they had with KO and Sami Zayn here, where Daniel Bryan was kind of by their side because, they worked in the indies. He can kind of relate. But, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they took it too far, attacking Shane McMahon. And that segment where Bryan says he's cleared is just a great moment. And when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn try to attack him, and Daniel Bryan is doing, his running drop kicks and the yes kicks. So it's just a great moment here. And yeah, the match, I thought it was okay. So, I don't know if there's much to make it better here, but I still think it's a great moment for Daniel Bryan to return in New Orleans, where he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event. And, it pays off the feud here. And I think it'll be just a great moment just to have Daniel Bryan back in the ring. All right, next up, we got the mixed tag team match here. Kurt and Ronda versus Triple H and Steph. Definitely keep this match the same. This is probably the match of the night, or one of the matches of the night. And Ronda really impressed here. And the build was not bad with Ronda, debuting at the Royal Rumble, pointing at the sign there, and then Triple H and Steph signing Ronda, and then Kurt kind of exposing that, Ronda and Triple H just wanted to sign her so they could claim that they own her and that, she works for them. So that was good stuff there. I thought Ronda got a little bit too much heat, though. Like, she was able to, I believe, attack Triple H and Stephanie. I would save that till Mania, where, Triple H and Steph are kind of getting the upper hand here. And yeah, it is a cool moment here with Kurt and Ronda. Two Olympians here, and you can have vignettes of them training, I think, and vignettes of Triple H and Stephanie training, just like they did here. And, of course, you got to keep the result the same. Ronda Rousey winning, tapping out Stephanie McMahon. And you can still have that awesome moment as well with Ronda and Triple H going at it. That was a cool moment. And it's just sad that, after this, Ronda this is kind of the peak of Ronda's career, but, it's still a great moment at WrestleMania. All right, next up, we got John Cena versus Samoa Joe. Yes, I know Samoa Joe was injured, but he returned basically the next night on Raw, so I assume he could have been on the card if WWE wanted to. John Cena, after, not being able to win the Smackdown title at Fastlane, he could talk about, he doesn't know what he's going to do at WrestleMania. Maybe it's time to call it quits. And, Samoa Joe, because I believe he was on Raw, he could, he'd say, he heard John Cena's promo, and he says he's been jealous of John Cena's whole career. They both wrestled back in the day, and John Cena became the big star even though I'm the best wrestler. And Samoa Joe says, I make the challenge. Me and you, Cena Mania. And Cena could accept the match. And yeah, I would like to keep it like, Cena stays on SmackDown, Joe stays on Raw, so they could just cut a couple promos on each other. Yeah, they also have a few photos of them like back in the day, I think in 1999, so they could also bring that up here. Like Samoa Joe could talk about how, he got into the business with John Cena, and that, the fact that John Cena is a bigger star than me, he doesn't understand it, and he's going to prove at WrestleMania why he is the best. And yeah, John Cena could talk about how the reason I became a star is because I work hard. I never give up. He does that speech. And yeah, I'd actually have maybe Joe ambush John Cena on SmackDown, and a couple weeks later John Cena could return the favor and brawl with Samoa Joe backstage. It could lead to the parking lot. So yeah, just have some real emotion in this feud, and I would actually give Samoa Joe the win here. John Cena could go for the AA, but then Samoa Joe could kind of reverse it into the Coquina clutch, and John Cena eventually passes out. And yeah, I think this would be a great moment of John Cena kind of passing the torch to Samoa Joe. All right, next match, we got The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. So I have this match a year later here, and hopefully in my rebooking of Roman Reigns, he won the mid-card title at WrestleMania 31, and he turned heel and headlined WrestleMania 32, and now hopefully he's somewhat over, and he's not hated here. And I think the feud is quite simple. Roman could eliminate The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble, kind of similar to 2017 here. And yeah, Roman could make the challenge, me and you at WrestleMania. And The Undertaker doesn't accept for a bit, so Roman starts cutting promos, kind of like John Cena saying, we seen your workout videos, why didn't you respond to me, and all that. And yeah, eventually, Roman could just talk about, why don't you just stay at home with your family, because that's all you are now. You're a has-been. And that's when Undertaker, the gong would hit, Undertaker would pop up, and he would just, furiously just attack Roman Reigns here. And Roman Reigns is kind of laughing. He's like, yeah, that's the Undertaker I want. I don't want this old Undertaker. I want the dead man at WrestleMania. So yeah. Undertaker can cut promos of, how everyone tries to step up to me. Everyone wants a piece of the big dog until they get bit. Because this is my yard, classic Taker promos here. And I'll make it also a no-holds-barred match here so they could use weapons. And I think it'd be better than their Mania 33 match. I'll give them less time, maybe only 10 to 15 minutes here. And yeah, obviously in my world, Undertaker's undefeated, so this might be a good time to have Roman Reigns defeat The Undertaker. But I just can't do it. I feel like the streak should have just stayed. So I would have The Undertaker win here. Roman can get a little cocky. He could hit like 2 spears, and Roman's like one more. Taker can counter into the Hell's Gate here, and Roman could kind of pass out. So yeah, I think this match would be much better, especially how, I have Roman Reigns' character. So, and yeah, good moment for The Undertaker as well to continue his streak. All right, next match we got the WWE World Championship, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, I mean, ideally, it's just you just want a better match, but I think everything going into the match was great, with Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble and immediately, challenging AJ Styles. One thing I would have is at Fastlane, I would have AJ and Shinsuke versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag match. And yeah, there could be some miscommunication there. But also, AJ could go for Nakamura could go for the Kinshasa to win the match. AJ could tag himself in, hit the phenomenal forearm, and yeah, they could have like a nice face-to-face there. And I like the build there where AJ was, pretending to hit the forearm on Nakamura, and Nakamura was kind of pretending to hit the Kinshasa on AJ Styles here, just teasing, the attack. And the only difference I would have is I would have Nakamura win the match here. You could still have the Nakamura heel turn, and win the match. I just felt like Nakamura's momentum after this, he was shot. Like, he was done. You give him that incredible Royal Rumble moment and you don't, take advantage of it. I just don't understand it. And then even the fact that you turned him heel after the match, you might as well turn him heel during the match and still, keep the momentum, because even like after he lost, he never even got the belt. So, yeah, I just think WWE dropped the ball on Nakamura here. And, the match, it is what it is. I think just having Nakamura win by turning heel just already makes the match much better. So, yeah, I think, the match was still pretty good. And obviously, you can have a WrestleMania moment where Shinsuke wins the belt but turns heel here. So, I think that'd be much better. And, yeah, it keeps the momentum of Nakamura and gives us a classic WrestleMania moment. All right, next up, we got the main event. I had trouble kind of choosing which match to use for the main event, but just because we kind of saw how AJ and Shinsuke played off, I think, having a quicker match here in the main event, just high power offense, would be great. So we got Brock Lesnar defending against Braun Strowman. So yeah, I wouldn't have Brock and Braun at No Mercy. I'd have a different match there. I felt, they could have saved that match. That was a big time match there. And also I wouldn't have Braun, in the match against Brock. I know they had the triple threat match, but I would definitely not have that match as well. I would have Braun dominate the Royal Rumble for a bit. And I would have Brock Lesnar actually come from behind and eliminate Braun Strowman, because he doesn't want to face Braun at WrestleMania. And yeah, Brock and Paul Heyman, we're not scared of Braun. We just don't think he's in his league. And Braun Strowman's like, Brock Lesnar, you're going to get those hands because I'm getting a title match at WrestleMania, whether you want it or not. He's going to win the Elimination Chamber. And yeah, Braun just dominates, wins the Elimination Chamber. And he calls out Brock Lesnar. He says, let's come here and come face to face with the man who's going to take your belt at Mania. And yeah, they can have a nice face-off there. And yeah, Braun and Brock could have a couple of brawls here. And you could even have Brock, injure Braun Strowman. And you can have that segment end where Braun comes back from the hospital. He breaks open the ambulance there and attacks Brock maybe on the go-home show. So, yeah, I think just building anticipation and having, Brock seem as the underdog here is a nice change here. And Braun was really over here, and I'd actually give Braun the win here. He can counter the F5 into the power slam, hit 3 power slams maybe, and get the win. Keeps Brock Lesnar strong, and it builds a new star in Braun Strowman, who I feel like they dropped the ball on as well. 2017, he was super over, and then 2018, he's teaming with a kid to win the Raw Tag Team titles. And I know he won Money in the Bank later in the year, and he didn't even get to cash in successfully. So his momentum was shot, but I think if you, give Braun a nice win here, I think be, great moment, and he is still super over as well. All right, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think of the card here. Just, talking about the upgrades I feel that I made here. First off, I think the main event, Brock versus Roman, it wasn't it. Roman wasn't over as the face, but I think, Braun Strowman with his momentum, I think it's a much better match and a much hotter match here. Changing the result of the AJ Nakamura match, I think would actually make the match a little more memorable and probably even better in other people's eyes. I think the fact that AJ retained also kind of made the people feel underwhelmed. But if Nakamura wins and you can do the heel turn in the match there, I think, the match is kind of seen differently there. John Cena and The Undertaker don't have that squash match here. They're actually, fighting, younger stars here. And, Cena versus Joe. I think having Joe is an upgrade here. I know he was on the card, so that's already an upgrade. And having taken Roman, I think this year would be much better. And especially if they have, kind of booked the Roman the way I did, I think Roman would be, not as hated here. And I think it'd be a good match. I kept the big tag team matches here with Kurt and Ronda, Triple H and Steph, and Bryan and Shane versus KO and Sami. Those are really well built and really good matches here. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka I think is good because Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax wasn't really it there, and they got too much time there actually. But I think Alexa versus Asuka is what that match probably should have been, with Alexa getting squashed here, and I think Asuka is much more over and obviously a better wrestler than Nia Jax, so that's a better match. Charlotte versus Becky I think is a good match. Obviously Charlotte versus Asuka was a great match there, but I don't want to sacrifice Asuka's WrestleMania streak, and also I feel like that's a match they could build towards, so I think Charlotte and Becky playing off their history and what we see later on in the year makes sense. And then we got Miz versus Seth Rollins. Obviously the triple threat was a great match, but I'm sure Miz and Seth would be just as great, just like we saw at Backlash. The US title, I think Randy Bobby 1-on-1 is much better than the Fatal 4-Way there. I wasn't really a fan of Jinder. And then we got the Raw tag team titles here. When you don't have, a kid on the show, I think that's already an upgrade there. And yeah, you get Jeff Hardy on the card as well. You get the leader of Rose on the card, the Revival on the card. All these guys weren't on the card, and I think they deserve to be on the card. And, even the SmackDown tag team titles is good too. I think Rusev and Aiden English also deserve to be in that tag match, especially with how over Rusev is. And yeah, the pre-show match, the Battle Royals, it's all good here. Different winners, obviously. I think Sasha and Bayley at the end of the women's Battle Royal was still the show as well. So, yeah, I think, my card just has better uses for a lot of people. Undertaker, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. All these guys have better, matches. And, so yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think of the card. We're kind of winding down this journey to rebooking every WrestleMania, so it's getting exciting. Let me run down my card for you all right now. For the Cruiserweight Championship, Fatal 4-Way, Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali versus Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong. The Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos defending against the New Day, Rusev and Aiden English, and the Bludgeon Brothers. For the Raw Tag Team Championships, the Revival defending against the Deleter of Worlds, Finn Balor and Jeff Hardy, and The Bar. For the United States Championship, Bobby Roode defending against Randy Orton. For the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz defending against Seth Rollins. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Queen, Charlotte Flair defending against the Last Kicker, Becky Lynch. For the Raw Women's Championship, the Goddess Alexa Bliss versus the Emperor of Tomorrow, Asuka. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle and Rowdy Ronda Rousey versus the Game Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. John Cena versus Samoa Joe. The Phenom, The Undertaker versus the Big Dog Roman Reigns. For the WWE World Championship, the phenomenal AJ Styles versus the King of Strong Style Shinsuke Nakamura. And in the main event for the WWE Universal Championship, the Beast Brock Lesnar versus the Monster Among Men Braun Strowman. So yeah, guys, that is my card. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and catch you on the next one. Peace.